Dometic 9100 awning. It's a pretty common awning on all these RVs. I bought this RV with this awning not knowing that it was stuck closed. The motor's froze up on it. Push the switch. I know it's got power going to the motor because I've already tested it, and I pushed the switch and you can hear it click, but the motor doesn't do anything. They're crap. Everything Dometic makes is crap, but whatever. We got to replace the motor. And this is a scary thing because that end right there is loaded with a spring, and there's no real clear instructions on the internet anywhere to tell you whether or not that thing is going to open up and kick your butt, or if you can just do this. That end is not loaded with a spring, it's just got a motor inside it. So I've already fixed it, but I'm gonna walk through the steps. Step number one: if you're in the closed position. If you're in the open position, you can do this the same thing. You just don't have to climb up here to it. See that screw right there, that hex head? You got to undo that. See that one on the inside? You got to undo that. Whenever you undo those, this entire spool will spool freely by hand. Do not undo that one right there, because that will lift the motor out of the arm. Leave that one in for now. Just take those two hex heads out. Be back in a minute. All right, here we go. The kit does not come with the thing that you need once you buy the motor. This is the spring loaded end. See that little hole right there? That one right there? There's a hole that goes all the way through. That hole pops out the other side. Once you get the Allen screws undone from the other side, you can move this by hand. You'll be able to unroll it. If it's already out, you'll be able to roll it in. But you got to have two people in order to be able to roll it in. What you got to do is roll this thing until you can get a cotter pin or a piece of wire or a coat hanger or whatever all the way through that hole. You're not going to be mistaken. Trust me, whenever it goes in, you're going to know it's going to pop out the other side. If you can't get it out the other side, you're not in the hole. Stop trying. The hole is slightly less than an 1/8 inch. It's a 7/64 or something like that. Some kind of crazy crap, makes no sense. This piece of wire that I have right here is a Ford radio removal tool, and it is the exact size that can be used. But they say that a 7/64 cotter pin also works. I'm pretty sure that a wire coat hanger would work just as well. So you got to unwrap this thing 2 or 3 wraps, or if you're all the way out, then just leave it all the way out. Get that wire in there. If it's all the way up, you got to have 2 or 3 wraps out. Okay, there's no way around that. You got to do that. So just go ahead and figure out how to get 2 or 3 wraps out and then put that pin in. Okay, once you have that, you're off to the other side again. I'll be back. All right, you're going to be in about this position right here. You need enough room to be able to get a drill to drill these rivets out. There's 3 of them, but you're not where are we at? This is loose. Before you do that, once you got that wire in the other side, get a piece of rope or some zip ties or tape or something. Go underneath this bar right here and come around the outside of this arm. And whatever you're using, tape it in place. Make sure that thing cannot slip, because this arm, whenever you take the pressure off of it, it can and will push out and extend all the way. And if you're in the way on the ladder, it'll knock you the hell out. So once you pull the arm up right here, that comes up, and this whole thing comes up with the motor. There's no lip there to keep the rope or zip tie in place. So come down here, put your zip tie in place, and put some tape over it. I wrapped it with a couple of pieces of duct tape so that it wouldn't move. It held in place, no problem. It's not under a lot of pressure until it starts moving and it's on the go. Once it's on the go, you're not gonna stop it. All right, so you got your arm wrapped. You gotta get these 3 rivets out. It's no big deal. Just go ahead and drill them out. Don't worry about anything on the inside. Just drill, 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 push them through. Whenever they're done, you're done. At that point in time, the motor can pull out of the arm. So you gotta be careful. This is your next step right here. Now, I did all of this by myself. I did not have help. It's easier if you got help, but you don't have to have help. I got an 18-foot awning and it's not heavy. I held it by myself, but I was underneath it. I just braced my arm under it and rested up here on the side of the camper and had it on top of my forearm. And then I took this screw out, this hex head, this bolt right here. Just back it out. All it's doing is holding this piece, this cap right here. It's just holding it in place. And then once you take that out, then this motor will slide out. It'll literally just slide to the right. There's nothing holding it in there. However, it does, the motor on the inside, the gears on the inside, they run on 3 tracks that are, I don't think they are where the rivets are, but they may be where the rivets are. There's 3 keys in there. The motor's kind of weird looking. We can come down here and look at it. This is the old motor. That's what slides in there. And see how it's got 3 grooves in it? Well, those grooves ride on grooves that are inside the awning. This whole thing comes off of the awning. So just pick the awning up in your left hand. With your right hand, pull it out. Bloop, throw it in the garbage, throw it in the woods, throw it in the trash can, throw it at your wife. Doesn't make a difference. Just chunk it. It's a piece of crap. They freeze up because they get wet. Whoever knew that an awning motor would get wet? So your new one, you slide it back in. Oh, here's a tip. On your new motor, before you get up here, take these Allen screws, these hex head screws, take them out. Because this is not going to line up the way your old one came out. So you're gonna be sitting there holding your awning, having to get these things out so that you can turn this bracket to line up for this screw right here. So go ahead and take these hex head screws out while it's on the ground. This rivet right here will hold it in place. Don't worry about it falling off. This rivet will get it. So I was wrong about something. That rivet does not hold it in place. The wires will keep it from falling out. I'm not sure what that rivet is. I'm not sure what it holds in, but the wires won't let it fall off. So once you take the hex heads out of here and here, don't worry about it coming off. The wires will keep it in there. Okay. All right, so you slide the motor in. You put this bracket back into this sleeve. This is the first screw that you want to put in place. Put this one in place and hold it in. Once you're there, I moved over here and I put 1 rivet in. This right here will turn, and I put 1 rivet in place. And then I came up here and I put this in place. And then I went to the back side and I put that one in place. And then I came up here and I put this rivet in place. And then I extended it all the way out and I did my last rivet. So if it's all the way out, you're not going to have any problem. The problem is having somebody there that can hold it for you. Because if you're out there holding it above your head, that's going to be really awkward. If you're on a ladder with it all the way in, it's actually easier. And then you just got to plug that bad boy in. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Once you get to that point, come back over to this side, go up there and remove your wire. Don't forget to remove your wire before you try to unravel it or extend it, whatever you want to call it. And then if you're like me and you've been out an awning for 2 years, and you really want one, it's like magic. Look at that. It's dirty as all get out because I've never had it unrolled. So I've actually been thinking about this for about a year and a half, just trying to find details on whether or not that side was going to beat my brains in or not. But it doesn't. It's all about that hole on the other side. If you don't put that key in that hole, I don't think it'll extend out if you use zip ties on this end the same way we did on the other end. I think you can still hold it shut. I don't think you have to put that keyhole. But if you put that wire through that keyhole on that end, you don't have to worry about it coming out at all. It's not even a problem. So there you go. First time in 2 years I've had an awning. It's amazing.